Hey, it's your girl Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. I am live at Graceland and taping this episode because I was here talking to the cast of Elvis, including the director, Baz Luhrmann, who I love, love, love. This purple plush this purple plush sofa that you're seeing behind me is in the lobby of Graceland, and all of the furniture here has been crafted and carefully picked out by Priscilla Presley and Lisa Marie Presley to give that Elvis feel, so to speak. So I'm giving Prince purple behind me. Do you feel me? I knew that you would. Anywho, if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications and subscribe to the channel because you never know who you might see here. Like in a couple of weeks, you're going to see Tom Hanks. I'm just saying. So I got a couple of movies to talk about. Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Spiderhead, Brian and Charles, and Father of the Bride, because I got interviews with Gloria Estefan and Andy Garcia, because those are my peeps. Those are my peeps, yo. So I'm going to talk to them and have an interview with them. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Cha-Cha Real Smooth. It's going to be released on June 17th. It is going to be on Apple TV. It's directed and starring Cooper Raiff, also starring Dakota Johnson and Vanessa Burkhart. Now, this is a film that basically centers around giving your heart to someone and how scary that can be. Everybody's had their heart broken. It's an awful, awful, awful emotion. And it can make you feel like you're lost or you're an idiot or whatever. It deals with all types of disorders, autism, ALS, depression, bipolar depression. And there is a popsicle scene between Dakota and Cooper that is worth the price of admission alone. I'm just saying. There's also a Scrabble scene with Vanessa and Cooper that is hysterical. And the birthday party scenes are a lot of fun too. This married woman is flirting. It's about unrequited love, having a crush on somebody that you know is unattainable, and enjoying the company of an empty room. Really enjoying the company of an empty room and how uncomfortable that can be, but fulfilling all at the same time. I loved this film. It was something that played at Sundance. It got great reviews. I'm giving it a great review here at the Curvy Critic, and I say check it out when it hits Apple TV Plus on June 17th. The next film I'm going to talk about is a film called Brian and Charles. Now, Brian and Charles is being distributed by Universal and Focus Features, and is directed by Jim Archer. It stars David Earl as Brian, and it basically it's a film so it's like a 2022 British comedy, and it's based on a short film that came out in 2017 by the same name. It's very, very eccentric. It's very, very quirky. Brian is this man who lives by himself, and he's an inventor, quirky, eccentric, crazy inventor, and he literally has invented a best friend, which begs the question of, are we living in a society right now where we literally have to invent our own best friends and make them ourselves? I'm just saying. It was crazy. I really enjoyed it, but most importantly, I enjoyed the lesson about friendship and bullying more than anything else. Again, this film is called Brian and Charles. It's a Focus Features joint. It will only be in theaters beginning on June 17th. Now, Spiderhead. Spiderhead is going to hit Netflix this week. It's directed by the same director who did Top Gun, Joe Krasinski, and it stars Jurnee Smollett, Miles Teller, and Chris Hemsworth. They are all crushing the acting game in this film. And it centers around two inmates who form a connection while grappling with their past in a state-of-art penitentiary run by a brilliant visionary who experiments on his subjects with mind-altering drugs. The cinematography for this is very, very crisp and clean. It's kind of like Weird Science meets the 21st century, with traces of eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind running in and throughout. The soundtrack is insane. Every oldie you possibly could imagine that you're gonna love is in this film. And it also begs the question of, when does science and exploring the unknown go too far? Like, it's literally some mind controlling going on. It's a little long. It could be a little shorter, but Miles Teller is crushing it. He got 3 projects out this year, y'all. He got Top Gun, he's got this one, Spiderhead, and he's also starring on the Paramount Plus limited series, The Offer, that centers around the making of The Godfather. It's everything. I'm just saying, it's a lot going on. So check it out. Again, it is called Spiderhead. It is dropping on Netflix this week. Okay, now, last but not least, I got these two interviews with Father of the Bride director Gaz and Gloria Estefan and Andy Garcia. Andy and Gloria are paired together. This is a 20th Century Studios drop that's going to come on June 16th. It's only going to be on HBO Max. And it basically is a remake. This is the second remake of an old Spencer Tracy film that was remade by Steve Martin, and now it's being remade with a Cuban Mexican flair on top of it. It also stars Adria Arjona, who was in Morbius. She played the love interest to Jared Leto in Morbius, and Lou Diamond Phillips plays the crazy, eccentric father-in-law. Baby, he is funny down. But I love this all Latin cast spin. It starts out a little bit slow, but it's super, super charming. It's super, super comical. Gloria Estefan and Andy Garcia, as an old married couple that have worn out their welcome with each other, is pure fire. Loved every single solitary second of that. And it also infuses the immigrant story, how the backstory is how, their parents got married. How come you can't take on the tradition of how their parents got married and you marry the same way? But, the new generation, they do things differently. They do things new, and they don't necessarily do them the way that you want them to do it. Miami is on full effect, and one of the stars in this particular incarnation is great, great, great. And he talks about, like, Andy Garcia's character in the opening montage is great because it tells you all this history about his family and the immigrants and how they came over and how he built his house on his own, and it was beautiful. But the opening scene with them in couples therapy and him complaining over them having an argument over him watching the fishing channel was everything. And you get to see how different generations get married and how that goes down, and how tradition is a little less revered by the more modern people, and how there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to cultures and in the Latin culture, and how culture appropriation plays into that. The food was amazing. I wanted to grab a plate out of the screen. And baby, Gloria Estefan had me cracking up when they asked her to try on her wedding dress, and she said, "You're gonna have to grease me up to get in this." I thought I was gonna holler out loud. But take a look and a listen, first of all, to this interview with Gaz, and then I'll follow it up right away with an interview from Gloria Estefan and Andy Garcia from Father of the Bride.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm great. So listen, I really love the spin on this franchise. I'm so happy to see people of color in this type of story for once. And I love there was a line that says, if we don't preserve our tradition, who will? Yeah. So how important is it for you to preserve Cuban and Mexican tradition in cinema?
It's so important for me to preserve Cuban and Mexican traditions in cinema because they can perpetuate and proliferate and spill over into next generations. So it gives a voice and a representation for a community that really wants to see themselves on screen.
Yeah, and coming from the lineage that you come from, I'm not surprised at all to hear your answer to that question. So I know you're married. I know that when people get married, there's all this drama. You're trying to honor traditions of both sides of the family. Did anything crazy pop off when you were trying to plan your wedding?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When we were planning my wedding, my mother actually said to our face what we felt she was already thinking, that it was like her wedding.
Oh,
and
no.
She just literally said that to us. She was like, this is not just your wedding. This is our wedding too. And we were like, no, it's not. But she did not back down from that. And she said, yeah, I'm going to invite my cousins and I'm going to invite my family because families are joining each other. And it's important that we meet each other, and we're going to be part of your lives, and we're going to be part of the lives of your children. So this is our wedding too.
All right. Well, Mama has spoken.
And we were like, no, but eventually.
That is pure comedy. I do want to ask you one other question with a little bit of time that I have left. There was a gorgeous woman at the wedding seated in a I'm not sure if she was in a wheelchair or just a regular chair with silver hair, singing as everyone was dancing. I can't find her name anywhere. Who was she?
Her name is Angela Peralta. I think the last name is Peralta. I might need to check that again. But Angela, I think she is Andy's aunt or a relative. She is a singer from Cuba who Andy did a documentary on when she showed up at Radio City Music Hall, and she sang for the first time a concert at the age of 90.
Wow. Her voice was bananas.
Yeah.
It was so gorgeous.
Right?
I really enjoyed that. Oh man. Thank you for telling me about that. I was so excited about that. And I just, with the little bit of time that I have left, I want to tell you that it's always so important to have these films where it talks about family and tradition and honoring the bonds between daughters and fathers, or mothers and sons. And so I just wanted to thank you personally, Gaz, for putting the spin on Father of the Bride, to let people know that the father of the bride comes in many shapes and forms and colors and nationalities. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for appreciating that.
My pleasure. Bye now. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Great.
I'm so happy to see both of you. So listen, Father of the Bride, there's tradition, and it was all about the food. Baby, I wanted to jump through that screen and eat all that food. I was so excited. But having
There wasn't any left. There wouldn't have been any left.
there wouldn't have been anything left.
It was hard to do the scenes with that food in front of us.
As soon as we sat down at 8 o'clock in the morning and saw that food, we were like, is it time for lunch already?
I know that's right.
Lunch somewhere.
So having said that, what is your favorite traditional family dish to prepare for your family? I'll start with Gloria first.
Oh, my favorite is chicken fricassé de pollo, chicken fricassee with white rice, maduro, so the sweet plantains, avocado salad on the side, and maybe some tomatoes or watercress, berro, as we call it. So yeah,
I need to come over to your house for dinner. How about you, Andy?
It's exactly the same dish.
Oh, gosh.
That's what I cook. When I really would say I'm going to spend the day cooking, and I'm not trying to do like a sauce, like an Italian sauce, like an all-day sauce. When it's Cuban, I would say that's 98.9% of the time. That's what, in fact, that's always what I do, because it takes time to do a fricassee really well. You know, it's not like, I just throw everything in and, you know, you gotta, you know, it's a whole thing, you know.
That would be my last meal if I had to order one, definitely.
And different people make it. I think we've even talked about recipes over
Oh, yes, we have. We've had the raisin, or not raisin, in the ground beef, in the picadillo. I like raisins.
Yeah, me too. But I put raisins in the fricassee.
I like that. Yeah, I love I like a little sweet and salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the little sweet and savory thing happening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Listen, I love it when y'all are talking and I don't have to ask a whole bunch of questions. That means we're all having a good time, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. So, I loved seeing this about a Cuban family, because before we've seen it with Steve Martin, we've seen it with Spencer Tracy, but now it's a Cuban family. How important was it for both of you? And I think I already know the answer to this question. To have your culture reflected in this way.
It was an honor and also a great responsibility that we were eager to take on. And we knew that there was fodder for comedy with this concept of a father saying, you know, this is the way things need to be, because that's very typical of our culture, especially the early exiles that came in the early 60s, who had to sleep on the floor and, you know, and work as a janitor and then as a waiter, and then start his own business and go to school and then become an architect and build his own house. And that's why it's funny, because it's true. They feel a certain way. And then you have the modernism of the matriarch of the family, my wife, and my two daughters.
We're very modern girls, which you raised that way, your character. But now he's not liking it too much when it's getting thrown back at him, you know. And he makes a journey. That's what I love too. I think any culture will be able to identify with what's going on in the film in one way or another. And that was the whole point, that we're people going through an experience, and he's a man going through a tough evolution forced by the women in his life.
I agree. Listen, I could talk to y'all for 30 minutes easily because y'all are just so much fun. But I want to end it by saying something in Spanish because I want to pay homage to both of you and your heritage. Muchas gracias, los aprecio a la dos.
Oh,
Gracias.
very nicely done.
Oh, thank you. All right. Until the next time. Mwah.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. Juneteenth is coming up. Check out the Juneteenth joints. Get into it. Get your celebration. Make sure that you honor Juneteenth because it is the day in America that Black people as slaves were emancipated. Not July 4th, but Juneteenth, June 19th. Get into it, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the reviews. I know I'm talking really, really super, super fast, but I hope that you enjoyed the reviews. I hope that you will tune into me live. I will be here live next week when I'm talking about all things Elvis. I'm talking about The Black Phone starring Ethan Hawke. And I'm going to, throw a little something on Doctor Strange because he's going to be on Disney Plus. But I'm basically going to focus on Elvis. I have a lot of content to show y'all for that. And I'm super, super excited. So I'm going to close my laptop. I'm going to put her over here to the side. I'm going to close up my jacket. And I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Again, if you have not tuned in before, give me a big thumbs up to let me know you are here. Click that bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel, peeps. And follow me on social media at the Curvy Critic everywhere. Except on Facebook, I am the Curvy Film Critic. Okay? So until the next time, Carla is in the building, baby. She's at Graceland, but she's going to be back in LA in two shakes of a second. So until you see me back in LA live next week with Elvis, honey, stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, be vigilant, keep them smiles up, keep your energy up, and I'll see you on the next side. Catch you on the flip side. Deuces.